Good evening. My name is Lindsay Johnson, and ever since I was 5 years old, I have lived with a seizure condition, and I never fully understood why or what caused them. Tonight I am going to inform you what causes seizures, what the triggers are, how they're treated, and what to do if you are ever to witness one. There are many different types of seizures and many different ways they can be treated. When I was diagnosed when I was 5, I was diagnosed with absence seizures, and they're also known as petit mal seizures. They're the smallest types of seizures that there are. It's a brief loss of consciousness. People mistake children. It's mostly in children. They mistake them as not paying attention, being unresponsive. 50% of these people that have absence seizures grow out of them, and I was in the 50% that didn't. Mine graduated into simple partial seizures, and that is it's when your awareness is retained, so you don't really know what's going on, but there's things going on, like you can chew, your lips may be smacking. There's different movements going on in your body. You just literally just don't know what is going on at the time. When I was in 8th grade, I had one of these in the shower, and my dad accused me of being on drugs because my eyes were so glazy. My awareness was just retained. And another seizure is some partial complex seizures. It's also when your awareness is retained, but you do know what's going on. You're conscious of what is going on. The biggest one that people refer to when they think of seizures, the word seizure, is the grand mal seizure, and that's known as the tonic-clonic seizure. And I had my first tonic-clonic seizure when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was at my brother and cousin's joint birthday party, and the last thing I remember was asking my dad where my charger was, and I dropped. It's a complete loss of consciousness. You don't know anything that's going on. There's muscle convulsions. There's foaming at the mouth. You just black out and you have no clue what just happened. I woke up to the paramedics asking me questions. I didn't know that I had a seizure until they told me that I did have a seizure. I woke up to my parents crying, and I was just really confused. It literally feels like there's a black spot in your brain because you don't know what previously happened in those 2 to 8-ish minutes. But there's many different types of treatments for these seizures. If it's extreme, it could be surgery, epilepsy surgery. So if people are having seizures every single day and they can't control it, if the drugs don't help them, the anti-epileptic drugs, the drugs that I take for that, there's a surgery that they can take and go into the specific part of the brain that is causing the seizures and just take that out. But there's consequences for that. It can affect their verbal memory. They might not, their life just won't be the same after that because of the surgery. There's also a cell transplantation where they can transplant cells into their brain that will reduce the chances of having a seizure. There's that, there's the surgery, and there's the drugs, which I take, and you're supposed to take it on a daily basis because it helps. And the many triggers for seizures are not taking your medicine, lack of sleep, stress, alcohol, head trauma, strokes. So when I had my seizure my sophomore year, it was because of lack of sleep, stress, and then I had another one in college. In college, you're just normally stressed out because of school, and I had that one because of stress and lack of sleep and not taking my medicine. I just neglected my medicine and just didn't care. So these triggers can just normally cause you to have a big seizure, a tonic-clonic seizure. and it can just affect you from living a normal life. And if you don't take these medicines, you're not going to live a normal life if you continue to have these seizures. My whole life, I thought that I wasn't normal, that I was abnormal because I had seizures, but this medicine just it helps me live a normal life and be like everyone else. But that's the history of seizures and how they're treated. Also, I want to inform you on how to give someone aid if you were to ever see someone have a seizure. If you were to ever witness someone have a seizure, you need to call 911 immediately. You need to put them over on their side if they're not on their side already, and you need to make sure something soft is under their head so they're not hitting anything. Move everything out of their way that's hazardous to them, and just make sure they're not choking on their own spit, because seizures can lead to death. It's dangerous. And thank you. That is my speech, and good night.